What's going on? Good morning, MourN back. And today we have the event starting in a Heroic Expedition. And the event is the Cloudtop store. I'm not going to read the notice because, we've already covered all that stuff. We're going to go right into the event. I've already been in the event today to look at it because the Discord was popping off about this thing. Like it was going, pop off as far as Heroic Expedition Discord goes. So you have the Cloudtop store. We'll get to the rewards last. We have the Cloudtop sign in. It says it ends in 7 days, 17 hours, but I think they normally do this just to kind of align it. You can only collect the rewards for 7 days, and they give you 750 golden plumes. This is, for anyone that's new, this is the currency you use to get the various things through the event. Doesn't change each time it comes around, so it's pretty consistent, but you can't use this time's plumes from the next time because they automatically convert them to gold, I believe. You have the Cloudtop package. You have 3 packages. You have I bought the $50 one because I wanted to get the ore immediately so I can start testing it on heroes. You have the $50 one. You get 5,000 gems and 13,000 gold plumes. The $30 one, which is 3,000 gems, 7,500 gold plumes, and then the $5 pack, which is 500 gems and 1,200 gold plumes. These events, in this event, this is the $50 pack is still actually a really good value. You get a lot of plumes. It's not as good as last time. What they did last time, I have to be 100% honest about this. I kind of anticipated them to lower that. 18,000 of them was a lot. Like you could, if you just bought the 4 days of the last pack, you could get at least whatever whatever heroes you wanted, and then you could throw it into spirit stones or ruin shards or summoning stones. I mean, that was a lot, and that was maybe overly generous. However, I think they also lowered the amount that you get for the mid pack from the first one. I could be wrong, but I thought it was 13,000 and then 10,000, and now it's 7,500. Spend at your discretion. We'll talk more about, I just want to go over the packs. We'll talk more about the spending when we look at the rewards. And this is just where you go to get it. You get it, it's like an auto loot drop, so you get it after so many hours. Don't forget to log in and collect this because we don't know how long you can actually let this carry over. I think if you have the subscription, it's 12 or 24 hours, and then it's 24 hours if you have the subscription, and then it's 12 if you don't. But on the safe end, if I were you, I would try to log in at least every 6 to 8 hours. Just collect the rewards. That way you don't miss out on any of these gold plumes, because now we're going to move on to the Cloudtop store. You have 2 ores, and you have the new ore, which is the void counter ore. This is actually a pretty decent ore. It's got hit point percentage and speed percentage. When attacked, there is an 8% chance to stun the attacker for 1 round. Increased to 10% at level 10, and at 15 it increases to 12%. The stun percent chance isn't very high, to be 100% honest. And I'll find out later once I start testing if control rate has any effect on it, because I want to test it on Hercules. I've been testing Hercules, and to be honest, it's not. I'll get the review out eventually. He's not been very impressive, not even against bosses, not for DPS. I've been quite underwhelmed. But speed is important to tanks, and hit points are important to tanks. So making Hercules go first and maybe adding this additional stun could kind of make him a little bit better, especially in PvP. Which brings to what this ore is for. This is a PvP ore. You will have instances where people are able to use it and pass like campaign and adventure levels, but mostly because of the speed edition, this is a PvP ore, and the speed edition is huge. What is it? It appears, I don't know how it's going to scale once I get to 15. It should give plus 48% speed. in the idea of the game, most heroes' base speed is around 140 to 150. I think there are a few heroes like the warriors like Marcia, Hina, and Sylvia that go up to 160, but mostly they're not very fast. So to be able to add, I'm assuming this is going to be 48 speed. I mean, you're adding a lot, and that's even including gear. That's a very hefty speed increase. I mean, you're looking at like a 30 to 40% speed increase on heroes with gear. That's crazy. There's no other item that takes the stats of gear and can compare like that. That is a huge increase to speed. The other, you still have the old ore, the Twilight Nightmare, crit and attack. This is a great ore. This is a PvE ore primarily. I mean, it does have application in PvP, but it's mostly for PvE. Then we have Factional summoning stones. You can buy up to 50 and they're 500 plumes each. I liked it better, and the first time I think they were 400, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was a more reasonable value for them, because just because you can choose the faction doesn't mean you're going to get the hero. I don't know how many times I've gone in and like, oh, I'm going to use 60 factional summons in Dark looking for Sarah Morgana, and all I got was Riser. 300 for advanced summoning stones. You can get 150 for spirit stones. You can get 50. 300 for 100 artifact shards, and you can get 50. So you can get a total of 5,000 artifact shards. That's actually not bad. Artifact shards are important. Am I doing the math right? 5,000? Yeah, 5,000 artifact shards. That's actually not that many though, because once you hit level 20, that's 2 total levels. And you really got to weigh that on whether it's going to be good enough or not. Elite shards for 200, you can get 50. Wishing coins for 300, you can get 50. You can get up to 150 classed here, and it's 150 per. That actually may not be bad. With the addition of 2 new ores, class is kind of hard to come by. Rune stones, 50 for 300 of them, and then the gold and the spirit. When it comes in terms of value, the most valuable items in this store are going to 100% be your artifacts. Your ores. The ores help you a lot, and it gives you more like ability to try different compositions when you're stuck. Fellow tribemate and a content creator, Gmoney, Bearded Energy Gaming, he actually got the ore and he was stuck on 1550 hard. And the new ore, the void counter ore, and he threw it on August, and he was able to pass the level finally. So it does have application, because that stun, if it does it right, can be very well. The speed on someone like August is huge, because August going early in the round is better than him going later. August early, Matthew later. Matthew heals the whole team back up after they've shared all the damage. After the ores, the thing with the next highest value is going to be your spirit stones. I know they're expensive. They're 1,000 each, but the value in spirit stones is high, because the nodes within the rune area that need spirit stones have very viable stat increases. I mean, they're pretty hefty, and they're on stats that are not like hit points in attack when you get the plus 15%, where it's negligible, it's very small. The stat increase on fortitude, on crit percent, these are pretty large because of the way it operates. So it's just like a flat stat percent increase. It's very good. So these have a lot of value, even though they're expensive. Followed by your rune shards. You need a ton of these. Like, you really need a ton of these. Once you get past a certain area, it starts to cost like 350 to 400 per node. And though you do accumulate them rather well, you don't accumulate them fast enough to where you can bypass these if you're spending. And then I would go for the artifact shards or class. I mean, that's kind of up to you. I think class comes a little easier. if they keep on this route, I will have maxed the new ore and the remaining levels that I need of the old ores before I need it. So then I'll just start accumulating classed. It does depend on what kind of resources the pets will take. I hope they don't take classed because we don't get that much of it. And then if you're really gonna whale out and you're gonna spend on this event a lot, then you start going for your summoning stones and your different summoning stones. But I wouldn't suggest it. You can get these as like at the end, throw like, oh, you got like 900, you can't really do much. Buy some advanced summoning stones. The rest of the stuff I wouldn't be using the event currency on. It just doesn't hold value. Now, the elephant in the room. I don't like to complain a lot because I just don't like to. Because I know the devs are working hard and trying to do what's best for the player base as well as themselves. But the removal of heroes from the event, that's just, it's beyond me what the decision-making process was to that. There are players in the Discord, they're like, I was gonna spend to maybe get a couple hero copies to help me advance, and now there's no hero copies. They're not gonna spend. You're taking money out of your own pocket on this one. I understand some changes like from 18,000 to 13,000. I understand that. I mean, maybe that was a little too generous on the currency. I understand maybe dropping down to 3 to 4 heroes versus I believe there were 8 on average the other events, maybe even 10. But to completely remove them is just a really bad decision. And that's why the Discord got a lot of action this morning, and it's all negative, and that's not a good thing. We want the game to grow. We all enjoy the game because the game is good. The devs are doing a good job. I mean, they're mostly listening to us, but this is pretty bad. I don't really know what else to say about that. I hope maybe there's a quick fix. Maybe this was an accident and they throw a couple heroes in there just so people can have a chance to get those, because early game, this was the event that'll let you progress. There's no event early game that really gives you any progression, any advancement on your progression. This was it. I mean, this is a very important event to the community. It's not only the first event, it's the only event that actually offered like good rewards. There was incentive to spend, for sure incentive to spend, and now it's kind of gone away. You're gonna have a couple people who get like the spirit stones, and you'll even probably have a few people that max out and buys the advanced goes all the way to the advanced and the factional stones. But I think you're ultimately going to lose money on this one because the hero copies were just so good. I personally haven't seen, maybe I missed the Meryl. Someone said it was in like the first event, but I know I haven't seen Morgana in the event, and I was going to get Morgana. For me, there's not much incentive to spending right now at all. I may get another pack just to get some spirit stones, but I need so many at this point that even 50 is not putting a dent in anything. It's not a big deal if I pass on this. I do want to talk about the ore a little bit more, just for another minute. So this ore, I had originally said that I wanted it on Sarah. If it had control rate, I definitely would have rented on Sarah, because anything that makes her faster would have been good for me. Like control rate and speed would have been like crazy good on Sarah. But this is a tank ore, 100%. It can work on Sylvia and Berea when they hit higher levels of block. There are a couple players in the game that are going to be able to use this on Sylvia or Berea, and they're going to be disgusting because now you're giving Sylvia a chance to counterattack and you're making her faster and more survivable with hit points. No, this is going to be crazy because I do know for sure there is a player with like 107 block rate without the other purple ore. So that's going to be very beneficial to them. But mostly you want to use this on tanks. And you're going to find that that's going to kind of how the meta shifts on it. I do see some application of throwing it on Meryl because Meryl is a nuke and her going before everybody else is kind of important now. The PvP meta is definitely shifting from Margaret, who is still the best first hero and can carry you far in PvP, but now I could probably safely remove my Margaret because my Meryl most times just kills the other enemy Margaret on the active. Well, that's it for today's video. Hopefully we get this fix in here, or a quick update to where they add a couple heroes, because I know a lot of people are really sour about that, and I understand where that's coming from. If you like my content, please like, share, subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day.